Hello, hello. Welcome to Kill the Bottle Podcast. Eddie Zamora, a.k.a. the Yum Yum Foodie, and Megan Elizabeth. It is the first show of the year, Megan.
It's not, is it?
Well, even though we're recording it before, thank you for breaking the fourth wall. Even though we're recording it before the end of the year, it is the first show of 2025, guys. So, woo, 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 woo.
Yeah, it is.
That's right. Thank you. It is called Kill the Bottle Podcast, and Megan and I are recording a little earlier in the day today, but I said, fuck it. What are we drinking? Well, I'm drinking a little bit of the morning cough medicine, aka I just making the shit up. We're drinking some coffee, but we're doing something nice. We have the Nespresso Virtuo. This is not a sponsor of the show. It's just the fucking coffee machine I have here back in the pecking room. But they partnered with Blue Bottle Coffee, which is I would say Blue Bottle Coffee is one of the coffees that helped like put other coffee on the map besides Starbucks. That got people to try like unique, more curated coffee experiences. Blue Bottle out of Oakland. So they have a partnership with Blue Bottle. We're drinking Blue Bottle coffee. And then, of course, it is Kill the Bottle. We're having a little bit of liqueur inside of our coffee. We're drinking a little bit of Licor 43. So Licor 43 from Spain. It is one of the ingredients in a carajillo, which is why it tastes so good in coffee. It's kind of like a vanilla, citrusy kind of liqueur. And it tastes pretty damn good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, Megan, do you want coffee? She's like, no. Megan, do you want coffee with an ounce of liqueur? Yes.
I said, well, yeah. Why don't you lead with that?
Yeah.
Dick?
So, Megan, first of all, how was your break? You went on vacation. Mm-hmm. You sound so positive.
I'm not a... It always
Where did you
starts
go?
that way.
Where did you go?
Let me see if I could start it pretty. Like it sounds like I'm really happy about it. Okay?
Well, when we spoke on the phone before you went, you were very excited.
Oh my God. So I was so excited.
Oh my God.
I went on a cruise.
Oh my God.
I know. I haven't been on a vacation so long. And it was going down to Mexico. It went to Puerto Vallarta and it was going to Cabo and it was going to Mazatlan.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. It was just the most amazing time I've ever had. Like,
okay, honest Megan now. So what?
Okay. Did you not like that? See,
No.
It doesn't work.
Well, you can be happy.
I was happy. It was fine.
You look like you had so Megan had a what's it called, a balcony room, which I highly recommend to anybody if you can afford it. It's worth the extra money, unless it's like an astronomical amount, but it's worth a little bit extra to have your own balcony where you could look at the ocean, have your coffee in them, whatever. It's just like your own little private space in this, your private outdoor space. Mm-hmm. So did you think that was worth it?
Yeah.
You seem to really be enjoying it out there, at least on Instagram.
I like my balcony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, so what?
That sounds bad, though. That just sounds suicidal.
Okay, what was your favorite
really like
thing?
my balcony.
What was your favorite thing about a cruise? Before you get into all the shit you hated.
My balcony.
Okay.
The balcony.
You sound like Anna Faris in fucking House Bunny.
Balcony.
Okay, so your balcony was your favorite thing.
Then the endless amount of alcohol you could get, but I really couldn't drink it because I got sick. That's kind of what the lead-in is. I got sick.
But what kind of sick?
Seasick.
Seasick, okay.
The second day.
Okay.
There was a full day at sea, and it was just...
So, oof.
I threw up like in front of people, like embarrassingly. Like I just like stood up.
Yeah, usually reserve that for boyfriends.
Right. Or yeah.
Whatever. Partners.
It was, I just stood up and like threw up like in my hand. I didn't notice. I just stood up and I was like, oh my God. And then I was like held up in my room for a full day and a half.
But you made it out.
Of the room, yeah.
What did you miss on that day? What did you like? Did you have any private? So on cruises nowadays, you can book like specialty dining and all that. And Megan booked a bunch of.
No, I didn't have any dining.
Oh, good.
I know. I don't know. It was Jesus.
No, but that's good.
It was Jesus.
In that
I did
sense.
have a whale watching tour.
Oh.
Very
Insert
tail
fat
end.
joke.
And
Yeah.
I took it as late as possible. Like I delayed it. Like there was several times. And
Okay.
that day I was like, I don't feel good.
Did you see whales?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I've never seen.
It was on my bucket list, so I did it.
That's cool. What kind of whales?
They were humpback whales, and they were breaching. Like they were coming out and jumping.
That's cool as shit.
I've never seen anything like that. That got my mind off of being sick. And that was easier. That little boat, we were in like a banana boat that goes really fast and like like vroom, vroom, like up and down.
Like a high speed boat.
That
yeah.
didn't bother me at all. I think it's the subtle swaying for 7 days straight that bothered me.
Which is funny. I've only ever gotten nauseous on a cruise one time, like 20 years ago. It was like, it was like a super long time ago. It was one day, and I went to bed, or I took like a nap, and then I got up and I was fine. So it was weird. I slept for like 2 hours, and then I woke up and I was able to like manage. Thank God, because it was a 3-day cruise, which really would have sucked
I
if
was
the
just
entire.
so tired. It felt like I hadn't slept in 15 years. And
Maybe
that
really because you
maybe I
haven't slept in 15 years. So your body was just like, you know what? I'm going to check out.
I paid for the internet package that didn't work very well, so I really couldn't reach out to anyone. My parents thought I had died.
Yeah, I was wondering.
I can't. I could see your calls, but I couldn't answer calls.
Oh, got it.
And I paid extra for this Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
glorious Wi-Fi because I'm by myself. Because
Yeah.
if something happens,
Of course.
and it didn't work. And I think
when
that
you get in cruise ship jail,
yeah,
they can call
which
your.
I thought was going to happen.
I was waiting for the call.
I was waiting to get arrested, and then it never worked. So on top of that, I was kind of forced into isolation. No internet, no. Like occasionally I could get Instagram if you really needed to reach me, but my parents aren't on Instagram. So like
Did your brothers reach out on Instagram and be like,
no
yo,
one
are you
reached
alive?
out.
I did, asshole.
On Instagram?
Yeah, I've sent you. I
No,
commented.
it's fine that no one did. It was supposed to be, but I think that's when all of a sudden my mind kind of either went into hyper vigilant mode where I was like, I don't want to get kidnapped or pushed off the ship. So now I'm like super aware, or it went into, oh my God, my brain just shut off because
Yeah.
like I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to do anything. Maybe that was the best of the part of the trip. Every time I take a vacation, I'm working or I bring
That's what
my
I love
laptop.
about cruise ships is really it's like
I didn't
literally
have to
like
do anything
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
time. And I think my brain maybe did just go, fuck you, you haven't slept in 15 years, now you're going to. Like I think I spent a full day sleeping.
you could check out.
Yeah, it
What-
was weird.
was
But that
there-
also feels like a waste of time for me. But I guess it's not. I
No,
don't
not at
know.
all. Not at all. I mean,
I'm
the
very
cool thing is
confused. I'm confused about my identity on this cruise ship.
well, the cool part about it is that literally you don't have to worry about anything. Like, if you want to sit down to eat, you could sit down to eat. If you want to get like a quick bite, if you want to get room service, you want to get whatever, it's all included. Of course,
The
booze
room
is not.
service is not.
Room service is not. That's changed because it used to be included.
Not
Okay,
included.
but at least like it's not a long distance to get food, coffee, whatever.
Right.
Everything is accessible. Was there any drink that you had that you really liked, or was there any?
I was stuck on Bellinis. That sounds
Oh,
so
nice.
lame.
No, but that's shit you're never gonna pay for when you
Peach
go out
Bellinis.
because they're fucking expensive.
They were so easy to drink, and it was kind of fun. It felt like Sprite on my stomach too, a little bit. It wasn't
Oh,
like
yeah.
hard liquor. I tried to take one shot of Fireball because, by the way, not just me. I kind of was giving up on Fireball because it was making me nauseous. But the entire fucking ship, every time I went to a bar, people were taking Fireball shots.
White people.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, it's not a.
It's not just me. I'm done with it.
So
I tried to take one and I threw it back up.
So I have a post on this happened this morning. So speaking of, I have a post this morning on social media from like 2 summers ago when I was in Spain, and I got a video of a carajillo, and they're making this drink, which is a drink from Spain, and of course, people like the like stupid fucking comments. Some guy comments because there's no ice in it. It's already cold. It has like cream. It has like a lit shot of liquor in it. It has liquor 43. It has coffee, and then they made actually a whipped cream of liquor 43, which is super cool. So it's like really nice cocktail. Anyway, some guy comments and he's like, it needs ice. And I'm like, give it to the fucking white guy to try to appropriate another country's cocktail and change it and say it needs ice. I'm like,
needs
Jesus Christ,
ice.
Mr. Schwab, whatever the fuck his fucking dumb fuckity fuck name was. And I don't know why it irritated me, but I was like, dude, do you... Anyway,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm sure he's commenting on taco videos that don't have hard shell tacos.
It needs it needs lettuce.
It needs hard shell taco for taco
It needs
night.
some of that shredded lettuce and
Ay,
cheese.
vey. Fucking dumbass.
Some what's the Taco Bell hot sauce? The hottest
I
sauce.
don't know.
What is it now?
I don't know. I haven't-
Diablo.
Oh, Diablo.
It
Okay.
needs some Diablo.
Yeah, there's a word that's one of my favorite like Cuban insult words, and it's not even like it's just a fucking that guy's a fucking sapingo. Sapingo is just a dumb fuck, just a disconnected idiot. Anyway, so that happened to me this morning. So you
How
were
was your
drinking peach
Christmas?
bellinis.
Oh.
You were drinking peach bellinis. I
Yeah,
like
because
it.
they were easy on my stomach. Like if I got dirty martinis a lot at night,
Nice.
That sounded good too, but nothing.
Was there
For the
any like
majority, I was
new
sober.
or maybe like a spirit brand that you hadn't tried before that you're like, oh, cool, I'm on the cruise. I can finally try whatever whiskey that I've never had kind of
No.
thing? That's what usually like my favorite thing on a cruise
I
is
got Grey Goose. I've never ordered that before.
it's good shit.
because I could, because I paid extra for the premium package.
But
You
I mean,
had to pay extra for the
well, yeah,
cocktails.
but Grey Goose, like I'm not a vodka drinker, and
But now I am.
but when I do drink vodka, like I like Grey Goose. Grey Goose is really good.
Yeah, because
like you get
usually
what you pay
I
for.
just get stuff that's cheap and it tastes bad. Like I cringe when I drink drinks usually at bars just because I'm saving money.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
cringe every time I just take a sip of my cocktails at bars unless I'm being fancy. So to take a sip of a cocktail and not be like was wow. That was different.
And
I learned
martini's
a lot
something.
about myself on this trip.
What did you? Okay, so what did you learn that you can share?
I'm not a cruise person.
Okay, fair.
Those people are weird.
Okay.
No offense, I met a lot of nice ones, but they're weird. But then I was one of them, so I don't know. I found out that I like alcohol that tastes good.
Okay, that's important. So you're not just your
I'm
tequila,
not
well
doing
tequila for the
Fireball or
pain.
well tequila anymore.
Good. Okay.
I don't think I need to drink as much as I used to. I'm gonna sleep more.
Okay.
And I don't like spending money as much as I like earning money. So
Oh.
I learned that about myself. It brings me more joy to earn money rather than
Now,
spend it.
what's the mindset of that now? Just because I like my mindset when I think of that is I'm thinking of like retirement and to not have to work as much later in life. Is that your mindset or what's your
Sounds like hell.
what working later or saving money to not
Retiring.
have to work later? Which one?
Not working.
Not working sounds like hell.
A little bit.
Oh,
I don't
no
know.
way.
I learned that about myself. I dreamt about my job here.
Yeah.
I dreamt about it and was like looking forward to coming home on this cruise ship.
Well, like
Everyone's like, it's so sad. It's the last day. It's the last day. I'm so sad. I was like, I'm so happy.
by the last day, I'm usually ready to
I'm
go.
ready to go.
Yeah, but I will tell you the best cruise I ever took. It was pre-pandemic, so I have heard. I did go on one cruise during the pandemic, but it was very different. It was like there was only 150 people on the boat. It's like it was not like it was great. That was a great cruise, but it's very different than like the standard cruises I would take before. Anyway, I did a 14-day cruise
Oh my God.
in 2015. Hold
Oh
on.
my God.
Hold on. Best cruise I ever did. It was Eastern and Western Caribbean. It was Christmas and New Year's. It was on Celebrity. It was like super fucking premium, which I've heard now Celebrity's gone a little bit downhill since. But I can't speak to it. I haven't been there. This is just from my friend's experience. And that was the best cruise I ever took.
Mhm.
Like I think I was in Curacao on Christmas Day in the fucking water and it was warm.
Yeah,
and I was
that's
like,
what I want.
this is nice.
That's probably nicer.
Yeah, that was nice.
I did that in like the Disney cruise when I was 14 with my family. Our grandparents all took us on the Disney cruise, and I remember I was never sick.
Yeah.
My honeymoon, I went on a cruise. I never got sick. But in the Disney cruise, we went to the places where you could just walk out, and the water was like the same temperature as everything, as the air, and it was amazing. So
If you had a dream cruise destination, what would it be?
Greece, everyone on this cruise kept saying Greece.
Yeah.
and these are cruisers that are.
Well, but is that your like if they weren't saying
No,
that and you had to
I
pick?
only have their references to go.
Well,
off of.
no. They're like, are there some islands? Is it like, would you
No.
want to do like a European riverboat cruise where you go to like all of these like villages in
Nope.
villages in like Austria, Germany? What about like Tahiti
Nope.
or Hawaii? No, okay.
I'm going with
Greece, okay.
what the
No.
seasoned
I'm just
traveler
putting it
said
out there.
is the best one they go on.
Got it.
They go like some of these people go on like 4 or 5 cruises a year. Like,
Okay.
This is all they do. They retired young and they like this is what they do. And not like every single one I talked to, which is like 20 of them, without knowing each other, all said Greece is the best like thing to do. Like if you're going on a cruise, go through Greece.
It looks beautiful. The only thing that makes me apprehensive about Greece is that the water's cold. I know it looks beautiful and blue and all that shit, but I'm Cuban, man. I want Caribbean water. When I jump in, like I've been into the water in like
Is it
southern
cold
Spain.
always?
I don't know if it's cold always, but I know people that have gone when it's like summer and it's it's cold. It's cold. I don't want to say it's cold like the
Well,
Pacific
then
Ocean
I
cold.
don't know anymore.
So I don't know.
Hawaii?
I think I've heard the water in Hawaii is cold. So I don't know.
No, I've been to Hawaii.
It's not cold.
No, it's beautiful.
I mean, it looks beautiful.
During most of the year. I'm sure maybe I don't know.
Because even when I went to Bora Bora when it was the winter over there, which summer here, and the water wasn't warm. It wasn't freezing, but it wasn't warm, and I had to like take a shot and like jump in, and then I was good.
I'm still moving. Like
So-
I told you when I got back,
So
I've
she's not
been-
moving homes. She's referring to the movement of the ship she just came off of.
Sorry,
So
I forgot this was a podcast.
Yeah.
I'm moving.
So like this isn't work for me, Megan. Even though like sponsorships and all that, but like this. So if I could be retired from doing other stuff in my life and doing this, this doesn't feel like work. You know what I mean?
oh,
This. She's such a C word.
this feels like work.
By C word I mean cash obsessed.
Cash obsessed.
That's what she is.
Cash obsessed. It's like work for free. You give me some cash, I'm a lot.
Yeah.
happier.
Is that what it is?
We get some cash sometimes
Mm-hmm.
when I do my OnlyFans.
We
my,
do.
my OnlyPans.
Only pans.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Somebody told me a great one. They were like, we should make an OnlyFans called Only Beans, and it's just little cat paws and dog paws, and it's just pictures of their feet, like little puppy and
Those
kitty
are
feet.
beans.
They call a little toe, the little pads, they call them beans.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's
I
a
think
loving term.
OnlyPans is much better.
Only pans. So literally just
go
like
to
La
go to people's houses and take pictures of their pans and post it. It's a beautiful pan.
That is a gorgeous
That
pan.
pan is wonderful.
All right, best thing you had on the cruise, best food.
Ribeye at
yeah?
Cagney's.
Okay,
Perfectly cooked.
So she was on Norwegian Cruise Line, and I used to do sponsored work with them a bunch, and I became like a fan of. I mean, I went on pretty much every single one of their ships before their new generation of ships, starting with this one called the Prima. I've never been on; it looks beautiful. But the ship you went on, was it Joy?
Joy.
Yeah, I was on. I've been on. It's a beautiful ship.
I don't like that name though. It's
Well-
a little corny.
Well, Joy was originally in China. It was an Asian market ship,
Oh.
and then they refitted the entire ship and brought it to North America.
Oh.
So that's why, like the layout of the ship is very specifically designed for Asia.
Okay.
And if you were to put it next to like sister ships, it's different.
oh.
And it's
didn't
literally
know
because
that.
it was designed
Because
specifically for
they
Asia.
have like ads for all the other ships. Like Luna was in that elevator. I'm like, that ship looks fucking great. I want to be on
yeah,
that one.
that ship did not exist before.
I
That's
know, I
the
think it's
sister ship
coming
to Prima,
2025
if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken. Yeah, Prima looks beautiful. Prima looks like a celebrity ship.
I don't like the design of this one, but
Did you ride the go karts?
no.
It's go kart
There's a lot of
racetrack. It's
kids up
fun.
there.
It was fun. Did you do laser tag?
No, I'm 36 years old.
I'm
By
older than
myself
you,
on a
woman.
cruise, I'm not going to go into a
All right,
laser
well, I mean-
tag with a bunch of children, and that's
You're about the same size.
You're asking me about vacation and work. That sounds like work to me. That sounds like hell.
Yeah.
That sounds like hell. I played mini golf when there was no one up there at like 7 a.m, and it was wonderful. And then
What's
a
funny
kid
is I
came up and
never-
started running around and
I didn't
throwing
play
shit.
mini golf.
It was,
but
it was
fun.
It was just boring. It was cute. And then what was I saying? Oh shit, I forgot what I was
So
saying.
the dish was the ribeye.
The ribeye.
What was so good about it?
It was perfectly cooked.
Yeah.
But the same restaurant, it's the same restaurant. Well, not the same, but it's the free, not the free buffet, the free restaurant right next to it. Like Cagney's is there, and then there's a free restaurant
Yeah.
that anyone can go to all the time.
Cagney's is the brand. So there's little, restaurant brands within the ship, and Cagney's is like the prime steakhouse that you pay a little bit extra for to do. That one and the other one that you mentioned to be the French restaurant called Le Bistro on
Yeah.
Norwegian. Those are like my two favorite.
That one was probably the best. They had a fillet, but the
I always get
ribeye
the
was
fillet there.
cooked, was perfect. So
Yeah, that fucking fillet at Le Bistro is so
it's really good. Crispy outside, perfect,
It's, like, perfect.
butter inside. So no, but then the free restaurant I tried one time, and I was like, I'll get a steak, and I was like, I want medium rare, and I think the free restaurant has just these steaks that are in the freezer, right? And they're labeled not by cut; they are labeled by like rare, medium rare, well done.
I mean, I wouldn't be
And then
surprised
I
if they
think
have a bunch of
just
sous
zap 'em.
vides going, and they
Yeah,
just have
they
them
just
at different
zap 'em.
temps and zap them. Yeah,
and it's already
because it's
and-
impossible to have
it
that
just
many.
tastes like a rock. It
Yeah.
has the nice coloring when you open it up, but it is well done,
So
my friend.
I encouraged Megan to not do the lunch buffet every day, but there's a sit down restaurant that you could do lunch and breakfast at, and it's always a little bit better. Did you ever do that?
I did. It
wasn't?
It felt like the same food.
Oh, no
as the
shit.
buffet. So the buffet kind of was nice for me. The buffet had like one day where they had a flank like or some awesome cut of steak, and it was flavored very well. And that was like I
that
would
like
go to the
lunch?
buffet.
Was
and
that for lunch or dinner?
It was for lunch.
Oh, nice.
And I loved it because the buffet was like, what are you gonna get?
Well, I can't not walk by a pizza station and not grab like a slice of. It wasn't good.
No, it was cardboard.
Oh no! See, that's so. So I'm
But the
kind
pasta
of
was
scared.
good.
I'm kind of scared now to go back on a ship because it used to be, pre-pandemic, it was decent. So I can't speak to it now. I also encouraged Megan because like the population of employees on that ship is so international that you have a lot of people from Malaysia, Bangladesh, people from India, and I said if you're on the buffet and you see a dish from like India or like something that's funky, it's usually that one of the chefs is from there, and they put it in the buffet, and it's usually delicious.
They did that. They had a taste of India
Oh,
randomly at breakfast, randomly
and it was good?
at lunch. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
was just one bar out of all that.
And it's
So
always delicious.
Some of it was but some of it I went every day to see what else they were doing. So
Yeah, like paneer. They were like, it's always just fun.
So I took that advice too.
Look at that.
But it
Megan,
was all
listen
right.
to me for once.
It was all right.
It was all right.
It was all right. I ordered the premium wines, and because I get the premium alcohol no matter what. And I kept saying I want this Pinot Noir, and I kept pointing to it specifically.
Yeah.
Under the premium, and then they kept bringing me Le Meridien under the normal wines, and I kept saying like I
That's
don't
when you,
want
but you got to
that.
go to, that's when you go complain. Because seriously.
I did complain,
Okay.
and that's why I'm kind of upset with
Okay.
Norwegian
All
Cruise
right.
Lines, because as much as I didn't want to complain, I was very kind about it. I wrote it in a comment sheet. I contacted them. I said two or three things happened that were very disappointing for the amount of money I spent. And I was hoping to get maybe a different meal instead of the Ocean. I had bad lobster at Ocean that I couldn't even eat. Like I had one bite.
Yeah,
and I-
Ocean Prime is one of the restaurants,
Yeah.
or not Ocean Prime, but I think it's just called
Ocean,
Ocean. Yeah,
yeah.
is on board.
And it was
It's like their
it was
seafood.
horrible, and the experience was horrible. I asked for fries with it. I know that's not very,
No,
but
whatever.
the sides didn't look that great. So I got asparagus and I got fries. That sounded good with a big lobster.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "You don't want that? Come on!" Like he talked down to me like that. Like, "Come on, you don't get like the gratin or something." I just like I don't like gratin. I know what gratin is. I don't want gratin.
You're like, no,
give me
I
the
don't want
fucking fries.
Yeah.
I like sometimes when the butter spills on the fries when I'm eating the lobster, and that makes them taste
Yeah.
better. Like I just have my thing.
And you got shamed.
I got
into not
shamed
order-
into not ordering the fucking fries, and I didn't even finish the lobster. There's no amount of butter that could save that lobster.
That's terrible.
It
I
was.
can't
And
even,
then
like,
a guy sat down next to me, I kid you not, right when I was like, I can't eat this, to the waiter. And the waiter goes to him next, and he's like, "What can I get you?" And the guy was like, "Oh, I'm allergic to shellfish."
You're at a seafood
You're
restaurant, sir.
sitting 2 feet from me at a seafood restaurant. Like, what? I was like, I'm done. I'm gone.
Yeah.
And so they didn't give me any sort of. All they have done is call me incessantly to get me to rebook a trip. They've called me at least 20 times since Sunday, and it is Friday, to have me rebook and text me and email me about rebooking.
That's
a
when
trip.
you bitch at them and say this sucked, this sucked,
I
this
know,
sucked, and then they just offer you a bunch of free shit.
I just been
It's
so
very
sick.
Vegas.
I've been so like, oh, like I didn't even want to think about it. Today's the first day I was able to get in a car. I'm still moving. I'm still wavy.
There is one. I haven't done this cruise yet, but I have friends who've taken it, and there's good and bad to it. So I'm assuming there's got to be other cruise lines that do it, but I don't think any of the U.S. major ones do it, like Norwegian, Carnival, whatever, Royal. They have a ship. I think it's called Pride of America that's in Hawaii. And if you've never been, I've never been to Hawaii, but it does overnights in different islands. And from what I have understood, like the most expensive thing about Hawaii is hotels and food, like or food more than anything else, just because you're out in the middle of nowhere. So Pride of America, like we'll do 2 nights here, 2 nights there, and it's like an 8 or 9 day cruise, and you're in Hawaii.
I could do that.
But that's kind of cool.
I could do that
but
because it's
here-
a lot of land and boat.
Yeah, but here's the bad thing, from what I have understood. Since Pride of America is a U.S. registered ship, the crew is U.S. and they don't work as hard. And like the service is not as good on that ship as it would be on any of the other ships that has crews that are
I would
international.
argue the service on this one was,
No, fair, but
Rough,
imagine how bad
rough.
the one must be.
except for the bartenders. The
On the-
bartenders were great.
Oh,
It's
bartenders are always great on these cruises.
the restaurants and like the spa, and it was just, it felt.
My brother, who's an avid cruiser, because of my nephew was young, and it was just like a thing where like my brother and his wife could go, they could go on the cruise, and then they had like kids clubs, and they could still have like normal date. They pick up their son late or whatever. What my brother would do is he would go on the first day. And he would always get like premium drink package, blah, blah, blah. But on day one, he would give them like a $50 tip. And he'd be on the cruise for like 9-10 days. He'd leave them $50. And he's like, it would be 4 deep at the bar. And they would see him and make him a drink before they make a drink for anybody else. I was like, okay,
They did
pro
that
tip.
for me.
Pro tip.
I didn't tip them though until the end. Like, I don't know why. I didn't bring cash. I didn't have time to go to the ATM. So at the very end, I went and like put $20 in a casino slot machine and got 100. And I was like, oh, I cashed it out. Trust me, I lost more later, but I cashed that out and had cash finally. And this was the very last day.
Oh, that's great.
So I went to the 3 bartenders on the whole ship that knew my name and always had my drinks, and I went and split that between them. And they were very
How did they mispronounce your name? Your last name?
Megan.
No.
Megan. Megan, how are you doing today? Megan. It was always, I love that. Because my person who cleaned my room, same guy every day, also can be awkward. It can be awkward. He said my name the same way until I was really sick, remember?
Yeah.
I go and get some food. It doesn't work out. I come back down to my room and he's cleaning it. And I'm like, hi. And he's like, I'm cleaning. I'm like, yeah, I see that. I said, I really don't feel good. And he's like, yeah, I'm not done. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to take this water. And then he's like, we charge you for that. I was like, fucking awesome. I said it just like that. And he didn't say my name the rest of the trip. Fucking awesome. Thank you. That's the last thing I needed
He said
to hear.
your name, but there was some
charge you for the waters in your room, but you can go get those same exact waters from the bar for free with my package. But the room ones, they cost more. But the bar... So I met some regulars that they said, just go bring a bunch in and just replace them. And I'm like, why do I have to go to that effort? Fuck you, NCL. How about that?
Yeah.
That's
damn
all.
It.
How was your Christmas?
Sorry, that was my abuse. But it was good. It was good. It was really chill. It's like the first time I think of in that I can remember that I didn't overeat so much that I was miserable. I couldn't sleep. It was Noche Buena, so I cooked Christmas Eve here, and it was the first time that I didn't get fucking like diabolically ruining my stomach. It was kind of amazing.
You usually ruin your stomach?
I eat way too much. I just want to eat everything, and then I'm picking food all day. So I'm like, you make the charcuterie board, and I'm like, click, 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 and I'm making that. You do this, and I'm like, click, 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 and I'm eating that. So I did not do any of that. So that was very liberating to not feel like shit.
Yeah.
It was
But you cooked
nice.
pork.
Of course I cooked pork, but that's not even just because of me cooking pork. That's just our Noche Buena meal.
I just want to make sure everyone knows what
That's
you made.
right. And it was fucking delicious. It was sous vide, like it was sous vide crack of pork. So I made.
Can you explain the science of sous vide?
Yeah, sure.
Because I hear it, I kind of get it. Never done it. Go.
Okay, go. All right. So sous vide.
From what food girl.
From what I understand, in French means in a vacuum. Mm-hmm. And what you're doing is a sous vide is a precision cooker. So what does that mean? It keeps food at a particular temperature without going above or below, and maintains that temperature for however long you want to keep it there. But it's done in a water bath. Okay, so a sous vide is like a cylindrical device that will rest on the inside of a pot, and it's attached to like the outer ring of the pot. So think of it like an outboard engine on a boat. So it attaches to the boat, quote unquote, the pot, and then inside, this cylinder kind of rests inside there, and you fill up the water to a certain point. Each sous vide has a little line that'll say like minimum, max, blah blah blah, where you fill it in, and you set a temperature there. Now, what you're cooking in the sous vide, for example, let's say my pork shoulder. Pork is, it's safe to eat at 145 degrees internal temperature, which is actually kind of like medium. It's approved by the FDA. There's all these big misconceptions. I think that most people who eat overcooked pork, that's why they don't like pork, because it tastes terrible because it's been overcooked. That's the reason
I never liked it.
So, for example, what I made Cuban lechon, mojo pork. So I seasoned this pork shoulder, and I put it in a vacuum bag. So I put it in a bag and I vacuum sealed it. If you don't have a vacuum sealer, that's fine. You can get like a big Ziploc bag and you drop it in the water and then squeeze out all the air on the top and then seal it. So even though it's not vacuumed, you get most of the air out.
Okay.
Right? And it's a precision cooker.
Without a vacuum sealer.
It's possible. Yeah. You don't need the vacuum sealer to do it. The vacuum sealer is just, it's just a little bit better because it ensures like if you're seasoning, kind of infuses more of the flavor. But so the pork I was making, I didn't want to make it so it was sliceable. I wanted to make it so it would shred. And this is with any kind of protein. It's kind of learning what's the point of temperature on that particular type of protein where the muscle and it comes apart. and then you can, break it apart. So for pork, I put it in the sous vide for 175 degrees for 24 hours. So I seasoned it with Cuban seasoning, like sour orange, cumin, oregano, garlic, blah, blah, blah. Like the traditional Cuban seasoning stuff. And I put it in that precision cooker in the bag for 24 hours. So then what you do, it never went above 175 degrees. So basically, you never overcook something, you never undercook something. That's why the sous vide is such a great tool for like a dinner party, for people who like steak cooked at different temperatures. That's why you'll go to like a really nice restaurant and they'll have a bunch of steaks in a sous vide, one going at like 118 degrees, one going, because at the end of the day, you always want to put it a little bit lower than where you want if it's red meat, because you're going to sear it. You still want to get color on it. So you're going to have to put it on a pan at some point.
Okay.
Anyway, the pork, I didn't have to do that. The pork, I could have if I wanted to, but I really wanted to make this like the easiest experience ever. And this just infused so much flavor. So since I had it for so long in that fucking sous vide, once I took it out of that hot water bath, you got to let it sit because nobody wants to, you're going to burn yourself if you're trying to touch water at that temperature. So I let it cool for like 30 minutes. The liquid that's in there, it is incredible. It's like fat, flavors, all of the stuff from while that pork was cooking. So you save some of the liquid on the side, and then literally with rubber gloves, you take the pieces of pork out and they fall apart in your hand like pulled pork. That it took, however many hours.
If it doesn't do that, do you have to cook it longer, or have you cooked it too long?
There's a certain point where you cook it too long.
Okay.
Yeah, even though it's a precision cooker, like it depends on what you're trying to do.
At, what's it called? Crock pot stuff. Trying to make the meat like that fall apart.
Yeah, but
I'm really bad at it.
Crock pot is so different because crock pot is still not a controlled temperature.
Okay.
It's because it's just like a heat seating, like low, medium, hot. What the fuck temperature is that? Is it 200 degrees? Is it 130 degrees? That's where the sous vide kind of like wins in that world.
Oh, okay.
And sous vide is really cool too for infusing flavor in, like, let's say fruit. Let's say, I don't know, for New Year's. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to cook for New Year's because I don't go anywhere for New Year's. I live like right off of the procession of the Rose Parade, and it's a zoo in my neighborhood, and we just don't leave the house for 2 days. So let's say right now persimmons are like in season. Everywhere you go, there's persimmons. So I could get some persimmons, I could slice them, I can put them in the sous vide, and I can add some spices, let's say some nutmeg. What? I'm making this up. And then maybe put like an ounce of bourbon or an ounce of rum in with the sous vide, and it's going to infuse that. And now I can put that shit over ice cream. You know what I mean? So the sous vide is like all this cool, or, we can eat that, put it on pancakes, whatever. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Why are there firemen on the bridges today of Pasadena over the highway?
So I don't know, but I could tell you what I think it is.
Okay.
So this happened to me recently. I was driving on the 101. So we sound like the Californians. I was driving on SNL.
The 101.
The 101 to the 210 to the 45. So I was on the 101 going west towards Malibu. And the same thing. Every overpass
had
firefighters on top.
On top of their trucks with their lights on.
Yes. And that is usually a funeral procession for a downed firefighter. So the funeral procession is usually driving under, and they will like be like, you know what I mean? As the hearse and the family, everybody goes under.
Now everybody knows, because when you don't know, it like distracts you when you're driving, because that's already a really shitty part of the highway.
I literally didn't know, and when I was driving on that trip, I kept on seeing it over and over again for like 6.
I was like, are they going on strike? What's happening?
And then I saw the funeral procession come through, and I happened to catch it when it was going through the overpass. Okay. And it was like they were all on their trucks, like clapping and like, Yeah.
I mean, it looks hot. But like that's a lot of resources sitting on top of bridges.
By resources, you're referring to hot men that you could do.
There's a lot of resources.
There's a lot of resources.
This distracted me. I have to do that Lake Avenue exit, and that's dangerous.
It was.
That's dangerous. But, and they have these hot men on top of a bridge. They're trying to murder me. Pasadena's trying to murder me.
I will tell you, my Christmas was on fire because of my brother. My brother hit it out of the park with a gift for me. He sent me Joe's stone crab from Miami, which if you've ever had stone crab before, you understand. If you've ever been to Joe's stone crab.
If you ever go to Miami, everyone wants you to try stone crab.
Everybody wants you to go to Joe's. And my brother overnighted me 20 jumbo fucking stone crab claws. He overnighted me the key lime pie from Joe Stone Crab, which is like, it's incredibly good. And it was like one of those Gold Belly things. I've never had a Gold Belly thing. Gold Belly, guys, is a delivery service for kind of like restaurants that you can deliver their food all over the U.S., basically. So you can get like cheesecake from New York, from your favorite place, sent to you, blah, blah, blah. Pizza from Chicago, deep dish. Anyway, and it came with the kit with like the little cracking hammer, the bibs, just like when you go to Joe's, they put these like bibs on you. They pre-crack the
Right.
claws when they bring it to the table, but you had to do the shit on your own. And then the famous mustard sauce that you dunk them in. It was, I had the most fucking incredible stone crab meal on Christmas Day at night. It was just like, I sat there, I drank champagne, and I ate Joe Stone Crab, and I was like, I had like one little tear because I hadn't eaten Joe Stone Crab in I don't know. I've lived here 20 years. I think maybe I went to Joe's one time since I've lived in LA visiting Miami. So it was like this nostalgia kick that my brother gave me that I can't even, but it's crazy how food can do that for you. We get a little spoiled. And I mean, he spoiled me with Joe Stone Crab because that was a very, very, very expensive thing. But,
funny, it doesn't work for me like that.
No?
I told you I got sweetbreads today from the new store Wild Fork.
Yeah.
Comes through on my credit card statement as a purchase from Greeley, Colorado. I kid you not, because I think they're based, they get a lot of their meats out of there. And
That's
I
pretty
saw
funny.
that and it made me sick. I almost
but-
returned the sweetbreads.
No. But there'll be a point in your life where maybe
There's
you
nothing
don't.
you can send me from Greeley that I would be like, oh my God, Greeley.
Well, but
Not
there's
one.
there's
Not even a person.
something you've had on your travels that like
Yeah.
I don't know, that if you're visiting your parents and somebody sent you your favorite restaurant here in LA and it tasted just like the restaurant, and let's say you've always wanted to share that with
from Boiling Crab.
Yeah.
You see me.
Of
You
course,
see me
you
on
go
my
to
birthday
town.
when I get. It's
Megan
like my
goes to town.
favorite day.
But there's something about that, and I don't know. I don't want to say I'm a middle-aged guy, and there's certain things from my childhood or from younger parts of my life that get me very nostalgic, in a good way, and it reminds me of just nothing but good things. And that meal that I had was just sitting there. I remember, sitting in Joe Stone Crab, and I couldn't afford to go to Joe. Like I would go to Joe Stone Crab literally because I went with my two older brothers and they paid. Like Joe Stone Crab is really expensive.
He sent it.
Yeah, it was
So nice and thoughtful.
it was like beautiful, and it made me. And now my brother got engaged to his girlfriend. My brother who my sister-in-law passed away a few years ago. He was like he found love again, and it's beautiful.
Good.
And he got engaged on Christmas Eve, and that was just like. And I was like, all right, what do I do for a gift? Well, no, I was like, what do I do? Because she's wonderful. Like we love her, and it has nothing. It's not her fault. The circumstances that she came into were with my brother, right? But she's wonderful. So I was like, they live in North Carolina, and I was like, let me find one restaurant in North Carolina that if I had to visit and like, they tell me to go pick one restaurant you would want to go to in this whole state, where would it be? And I found this restaurant in Charlotte that's like James Beard nominated, tasting menu. It looks like something like you would look at the menu and be like, oh shit, I want to go here. So that's what I got my brother, and he's like, all right, we're going to make a weekend out of it. And my brother is not that person. My brother's very happy, like whatever, but he's not like the type of person he's very old and like set in his ways. But now he's like so excited to make a weekend about going to this dinner. I'm like, okay, cool. Phew. I was like, all right.
You done good, kid.
I did good. Anyway, we have so much. We're gonna split this into two shows, guys, because we have so much holiday mashugana.
Yeah, we only got to like the first little bit of it.
Yeah, the first little bit of it.
I mean, where's Rebecca? We didn't even talk about.
We haven't talked about Rebecca, so stay tuned because Rebecca is coming up in next week's episode of Kill the Bottle Podcast. Much love, guys. Stay tuned.